So the news is official. Kevin Samuels has passed away. Now, last night I reported it, but it wasn't confirmed outright. Now, it's a shocking thing because they say he was 56 years old. And it says that he passed away due to cardiac arrest. That is so sad. You know, his career on YouTube was really, his popularity was not an overnight success on YouTube. He had been on YouTube going back to about 2015. He used to do reviews on perfume, cologne, and he also would do reviews on different type of menswear because he came from the luxury retail industry. But it was during the quarantine era, 2 years ago, where he started blowing up. Now, initially, when he was doing the videos about women and men relationships, they were catching on. But it wasn't until he started doing the videos of women wanting to know about how to get a high value man and how I rate myself, is when it just went through the zenith. The algorithm pushed him so far ahead that I remember this, that he went from having 270K subs around November of 2020 to 1 million by May, June of 2021. It was something that we, particularly in Black YouTube, the YouTube Black sector, had never seen. And that was a phenomenon. So Kevin Samuels did become a phenomenon on YouTube. Now, I would say this year, his sub gaining did decrease somewhat. And I do believe that's because people are now returning back to work. And also, some people may not have really been feeling his delivery like they did in 2020 and 2021. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've subscribed to Kevin Samuels, and I will get the notifications. Now, initially, I thought that the man was somewhat of a narcissist, and that he was mean to some of the women. I really did think that. But that was because I was in my feelings. But I never disliked Kevin Samuels. But then I started watching the videos more and more. And I realized, hey, this man is not lying or even really being mean. He's telling the women, if you're trying to get into a certain industry where men are, and you're trying to date a particular type of man, which is a high value man, it's not just being educated or having money. It's about a look, an aesthetic. And I'm just giving you the real. And this is because he came from an industry where he saw how this world or that world was. Now, what Kevin Samuels was saying wasn't new. Because people from back in the days, our parents' time, grandparents' time, they talked about this. They would tell you, listen, you gotta be realistic. You don't look the part to get into a certain world. You're not a trophy. And they would tell the girls and the boys that. Like they would say, oh, you wasn't blessed with looks, but you was blessed with book smarts. Go into college, use that, and become successful. You was blessed with looks, but you're dumb as a brick. So get you a rich, successful man. Or if it was vice versa, go into sports, go into acting, or go into modeling. You know, they said that. But what made Kevin stand out, and this is something that none of the blogs have said, or none of the other YouTubers said, he said it during the time when cancel culture was at its height. Let me repeat that. He said those things that were politically incorrect during the height of cancel culture. And he was unapologetic about it. See, if Kevin Samuels was saying all of this 20 years ago, it would be comical, but it wouldn't be, oh, I can't stand Kevin Samuels. I hate Kevin Samuels. I hate him. It would have been like more of how we reacted to Simon Cowell on American Idol. You know what? You're not going to talk to me like this. You're not going to say this like me. But nobody ever tried to cancel American Idol with Simon Cowell because we would run home to watch Simon Cowell say the stuff he was saying on American Idol to the people that could not sing. Okay? But in 2020, 2021, you can't say everything that's on your mind, even though you have freedom of speech, but you can get canceled for every little thing. But the cancel culture was reversed on Kevin Samuel. Kevin Samuel was canceling the people asking for advice. You know, not canceling them outright, but just canceling their hopes and dreams of getting a high value man. And instead of being kicked off of YouTube, he went through the roof of being able to crush the algorithm. He crushed it. He didn't beat it. He crushed it. And I saw it live for myself. I did a video, a commentary, a couple of months ago called the Kevin Samuels Phenomenon. And in that, I spoke about how Kevin Samuels became the Kevin Samuels on YouTube, and how there were people who were angry because they had done what Kevin Samuels had done before. Now, Tariq Nasheed has given Kevin Samuels his flowers because there are some people that said that Tariq Nasheed was the first to do it. Then you have Tommy Sotomayor, who hates Kevin Samuels. He hates him. But here's where Kevin Samuels won. Not when it comes to Tariq Nasheed, because it was never competition. Because Tariq Nasheed spoke about how they, spoke, and he gave Tariq Nasheed his respect and vice versa. Where Kevin Samuels beat Tommy Sotomayor was that he promoted the institution of the black family in terms of the nuclear family and how feminism has destroyed us as a people. And that's when many black men came out the woodworks and also supported him like crazy, because they've been waiting. And it wasn't like they hadn't heard it before, but they're hearing it from a man who is not Pan-African. They heard it from a man who wasn't anti-black or black conservative. He was not an extremist. They also didn't hear it from a black man who was basically a person that dated interracial. They heard this from a man who was married, who had children. They heard this from a man who was college educated. They heard this from a man who was from the Divine Nine. They heard this from a man who was a foundational Black American from the state of Oklahoma, who more than likely was a descendant of the Exodus. And if you know about the U.S. Exodus, then you know that is a historical movement right there in itself. So Kevin Samuels was not extreme. He was a person who was not an overnight success and kept his old YouTube videos and was giving you game, really, like on YouTube and on Instagram for free. He also was an image consultant, which is why he could talk about, looks, appearance, and bodies. He was certified in that. He also was a certified relationship coach. And he talked about how people would go to his seminars and they would be married within a year. He also was a Dale Carnegie trained public speaker. If you go on his LinkedIn, because I visited his LinkedIn, and you can see it. And those things were there before he was crushing the algorithm. Now, I want to conclude with something. There are a lot of YouTubers who did not like him. And it wasn't because of the content. It really was because of a person who had been on YouTube for a couple of years who didn't even have 100K subs. And then all of a sudden, a year and a half later, he has 1 million. Now, those very people are going to want that spot. Because now their competition is not there anymore. He's not here. He's crossed over to the other side. Because I will say no one dies. You just transcend and transition. This is going to be an interesting play. But I don't think we'll ever see in the next year or so anyone from youtubeblack to break through the way he did. It's phenomenal. And I will say this in closing. I wish that there was a Kevin Samuels that was around when I was coming up as a teenager. Because I would say if I would have gotten the advice that he had given to women, I really don't think that the things that I would have experiences that I had in my early years, I would have been hip to game. And it would have saved me from a lot of frustration. And I believe most women felt the same way. Not all, but most women who watched and listened felt the same way. So with that being said, I tip my hat off to Kevin Samuels. He wasn't a perfect man. None of us agreed with his rhetoric all the time. But we gotta be honest. He changed the game. And he challenged the current status quo. And I do believe that he helped to really shatter the Black feminist identity that is in and has destroyed the Black community. And for that, I say thank you to him. Kevin Samuels, For that, you've done good. And people are going to carry on your legacy. And with that being said, I'm signing off. I will be back later on tonight. I will be talking about this topic some more because it is sad. And that's all for now. Later.